Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo. Another surprise!
Out of the blue,
You want that with fries?
out of the blue. Come with me across the sea. On another view, we're gonna cook for you.
Nothing but blue skies!
Out of the blue,
You want some chili with those fries?
out of the blue.
Over the years, Out of the Blue has been able to take you to many places around the world to visit. And over that time, we've been lucky enough to catch a fish or two. Now, while all of these places have some wondrous and interesting seafood, nothing compares with the quality and the range of seafood that we have here in South Australia. So, over the next few episodes, we are hopping on a Riviera boat, hoisting the mainsail, so to speak, and steaming out from North Haven to find some local fishing spots and try our luck out.
And lucky we have the technology and people who know how to use it, and especially our fishing expert. We'll also be cooking up spaghetti con vongole, a delicious whiting with kale recipe, and speaking with Sadi about the science of fish.
But first, we're going to head out to sea on board this little tinny behind me with the help of fishing expert Keith Goody. Jeez, I hope it helps. Oh. Hey Keith, I've got to be pretty frank here. We're in a spot of bother with fishing, and you're our last hope. You know, but I just need to know something. You know, your credentials. I mean, what are they? How long have you been fishing?
I've basically grew up down the port, and I've fished many days and nights as a kid, and it's one of those things that you just gets in your blood and you love it, you know. And it doesn't matter whether you hang a hook out there all day and catch nothing. You just like to be there, and it's good, fresh air and so forth. The fish that we catch are beautiful plate fish. Very lucky to have that sort of fish quality on our.
What's your
on our
average
doorstep.
though? You know, average per boat trip. What do you reckon?
Well, that to quantify that, it can change so much. I mean, some days you get a good feed. Some days you don't get anything. It's just the way it is.
So where have you fished in South Australia? Up in the Gulf?
Fished all through South Australia, the Gulf, all the beaches.
What about whiting and snapper? I mean, what sort of bait would you? I mean, it's got a lot to do with the bait, doesn't it?
Generally good bait. I mean, out here off of the local coast here, cockles are definitely the go.
You brought some along?
Yeah, brought some along, and fresh squid is really good.
Squid, good.
Yep.
Yes.
And over the west coast, I mean, you predominantly use squid because cockles are a bit harder to get, transport from Gore, etc.
So we've got the experienced fishermen, we've got the gear, we've got the bait. We're in a pretty good area.
We just need the wind to drop a wee bit.
What about the odds? What do you reckon?
9 to 10 on.
9 to 10 on. I've got to work that out. Does that mean
Odds
we're going to
on.
catch it? Odds on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. So what do you think we might get?
Well, I hope we get a few whiting, and we'll get a few squid. There's plenty of squid around, and maybe we might snare a snapper. I hope.
I've put a lot on you coming out with us. You really have to live up to it. You do.
I'm going to do my best for you.
You're our man.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thanks.
Don't go away. After the break, we speak to Gavin from Sadi about the science of fish, and we cook spaghetti con vongole. The South Australian Aquatic Sciences Centre is a purpose-built marine and freshwater research facility. The centre is home to the Aquatic Sciences Research Division of the South Australian Research and Development Institute, SARDI. It is one of the most comprehensive research facilities of its kind in Australia.
The facility was built in 1993, so it's nearly 25 years old, which coincides with the 25th year of SARDI. The facility was built to really support the South Australian seafood industry. So the work we do here is about investigating the aquaculture industry, the wild catch industry, and really understanding our rivers and oceans. At the moment, we've got a number of really important aquaculture projects occurring. We've been working on a cockle project at the moment. So the project's about reseeding section bank with cockle or vongole or mud cockles. There hasn't been a fishery there for quite some time now, so we're putting out baby cockles to see whether in fact they can grow, reseed, and in fact see if we can get to a point where we can have a fishery out there once again.
What you see behind me is our microalgae that we use to feed our shellfish, so our cockles, our oysters and our mussels. We're currently growing 3 different species of algae at different ratios to feed the different species.
We've been working with the commercial industry and also the recreational sector to basically collect King George whiting samples to see where they spawn. So we don't really know terribly much where they spawn in terms of the deeper offshore waters. And this project's about identifying where they spawn and to get a little bit more information around their maturity and reproductive schedule. We will take the fish, we will measure them, and that tells us how fast they grow. We also take out a little bone in their head called an otolith, and the otolith lays down rings like rings on a tree. And if you count those rings, you can tell how old it is. So by that we can see the length, the age. We can also look at what sex they are, and if they're females, how far off they are from producing eggs. So we can get all this information, and from that it tells us really about the population structure of King George whiting. South Australia is a really unique place with respect to the fisheries we have and the aquaculture industries we have. Our waters are really pristine and we're really unique to have that environment. So I think our seafood industry is a really positive one. We're really fortunate in terms of the marine environment we have here, which really supports the natural resources we've got available to us.
Hey Mickey, you've been to Sardi?
Absolutely, aquatic science, and it's the science of fish. And I saw the mud cockle, which is what we're going to cook with today. The real true vongole, as we know, it's in Italy.
I don't think I've ever had those.
Yeah.
This is a little bit of olive oil
Yes,
adding.
oh, look at the colour of that oil, Mickey.
It's superb, yes.
And can I have some garlic, Mickey? We only had one little garlic because there's a bit of wind.
A little bit of the test.
And we just wanted to make sure we got the right heat.
Put the garlic in for you.
So there, thanks,
See,
Mickey.
we've left it whole, so we're going to get the perfume of the garlic.
Okay.
Putting these, we're using dried chilli today. Now, don't be fooled into thinking they're not hot or as hot as the fresh ones. Sometimes they're hotter, so a little bit of that.
So these are the cockles. These are the true vongole that they use in Europe. But you know, we've got a great size, and meat shell ratio is fantastic. So that's what we're going to use for the recipe. Also, in South Australia, we're very lucky. In Goa, we have a native cockle, which is called the pipi. And what they've done with us, like you remember the mussels?
Yes.
In a cryovac, they debiss them, they've taken out the bead. They've done the same.
your
So what
attention.
used to be for bait,
yes.
and they still sell it for bait,
Yes.
these have been purged.
Now, Michael, what about the taste test? Is there, which one tastes the best? Any difference or not?
No, this is a bit firmer, and this is used a lot in Asian cooking. You know, exo sauce, black bean sauce. They love it with all those, and they hold well. So, shall we put them in there and give them a bit of a stir?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
That's
and look,
right.
see the natural water?
Oh, Michael, look at that.
All right, a little bit of white wine. Yep. That
enough, you reckon?
Yeah, that
Stock?
stock. Yep. All right, do that. Bit of pepper.
You like that?
I did that one very
Years of practice.
He watches the show, so he knows the sequence of events. Okay, we'll put that on. Let it go, let the heat.
Oh, look, Michael,
Oh,
that's
Mickey,
fantastic.
look at that.
Yes.
See, all the juices come out of the vongole.
And
We've got the wine and the stock.
the pasta, we sort of pre-cooked that, as you can see. It's,
But you've only just about 90% pre-cooked, isn't it?
yeah, it's about 90% pre-cooked.
So, Mickey,
Yep.
roughly,
Yes.
that's 4 people. That's an all-up cost with all the ingredients
Yes.
of $30. So there you are.
Gee, that is amazing, and it's just another example of a good, wholesome, cheap, nutritious meal.
And a quick meal.
It's a beautiful.
Grazie tanto.
Another,
Grazie tanto.
and the name of the recipe again?
Spaghetti con vongole. Hey.
Well done.
After the break, we look at the sophisticated technology available to help you catch a fish. Boy, do we need it.
The boat that you're on is a Riviera 445 SUV, which is one of Riviera's single deck boats. It has the latest in Garmin electronics, which has a few good features such as auto guidance, whereas you can plug in a position that you want to go to, hit auto guidance, and it will take you to that exact position. This boat is also fitted with a gyro. That's why we're sitting nice and calm at the moment. The fish finder shows us where the fish are on the bottom, so you can then anchor accordingly, and hopefully that you'll be right over the fish. Or the structure on the bottom, it'll show you the structure on the bottom and the depth as well. Okay, looks like there's a few fish about.
So Gary's got us over a non-whiting ground here, just off the coast of Adelaide. And we've had to leave Keith back at the Port River. He's going to try and get some fish back there. But he's left strict instructions on what to do. We've got the line all set up and rigged up, but he's left these pilchers here for us. Instead of putting a bait bag or bait tin in the water, we're just going to cut those up like that. And we're going to throw them in as burley, just to get the fish attracted. And we've got good old gull or cockles, open them up. And look at that. I mean, that's why we love eating them. They're so big and fat and juicy, and the fish love them as well. So throw those back in, the shells, empty shells into the water, and we'll bait up a line and we'll go in and see if we can get some King George whiting. I reckon we will today. It'll be quite good. It's very pleasant just sitting out here, hour after hour, day after day.
Oh, we're not very deep, are we?
No, week after week. There, I've got another one.
That is a weedy whiting. It's a member of the whiting family. Apart from being blue, they're also very, very green because they live in the seaweed. It's a beautiful, sweet eating fish, but not very common.
Put it back.
You know, if it was me,
There we go.
where's the fry pan?
They're gone.
Gone.
I'm getting a sort.
Red
Now,
mullet,
this is a
isn't it?
little red mullet. Now, Michael, if I'm not right, this is an excellent sign that they're whiting around.
There is, absolutely.
We fished for about an hour or two, and whilst we caught a few, we didn't catch many, sadly. Michael quickly got to work, getting them ready for our next recipe.
Firstly, let's use a scaler. I've got a very sturdy board. I'm holding the head of the fish, and you always start from the tail and you work up towards the head. Because this has got large teeth, I'm just being very gentle because I don't want to tear the flesh of the fish. And the most important scales are the ones underneath the fins, around the fins. So there we are, we'll give it a good rinse. Now, holding the head and cutting just behind the two pectoral fins. There we are, good burley. That should help my mate Keelan. Well, actually, he's been the only one catching fish today, so I got to tell the truth. Now, the first cut, this is by the backbone. So the first cut is above the fins, and as your knife goes down the length of the fish, you transfer the weight off your hand as well too. We're going to push our knife through, put a hand on it, and come down. And now we're going to take off the rib cage. So we're going to navigate our, and don't rush this because this is the most sensitive part. We're going to navigate our knife over the rib cage to get maximum recovery. So there's the first fillet. We're still going to trim the pin bone out. You turn it over and we'll repeat the same again. Your knife above and then push your knife through. Hold your knife down because you want to get as much meat off the bone. And these backbones are great for crabbing or in your burley bag. And now the most important part is to trim what we call the pin bones. And the pin bones, you can use your finger and you can feel the pin bones. So you make a little V cut, just enough, and there's your pin bones, okay? And you can see it's been taken out. Give them a good rinse. Lucky we're at sea. It's always great to rinse and wash your fish in seawater. So there you are, that's your King George whiting, single fillets, and it's a good large fish. After the break, we cook whiting with Cal and Beurre Blanc.
Recently we put a shout out on Facebook to our viewers
to send in their favourite pic or video of our beautiful South Australian coastline. Well, we've been overwhelmed, and here are just a few. So keep them coming, folks. Now, King George whiting is a very delicate fish that sometimes people kill with sauces. Today, we're going to cook our King George whiting with a beurre blanc sauce. Now, it's a very simple sauce. It's a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of white wine, of course, butter. It's this particular recipe, 3 stages. You may wonder why I'm up here on my own. Well, just have a look, see what's happening behind. I'm going to do the first 2 stages anyway, which is making this beurre blanc sauce, which is not terribly hard, it just takes a little bit of time. And then the other one is I'm going to blanch the kale, the superfood. So the first thing I'm going to do is to add some olive oil into this pan that's been preheating here. So I've already sliced these shallots really quite fine. And of course, shallots are a member of the onion family. It's again, a delicate onion member. And we'll cook that pretty quickly there, as you can see. Thinner the better. It's like when you cook with leeks. Always cut them very, very finely, and you'll find that they'll caramelise a lot quicker. So they're about ready to the next stage, which is some vinegar there. So we'll put that in slowly. Just a bit of steam there. And a little bit of white wine. I hope you can see it, because I can't. The next thing we're going to do is just reduce that. We should really do that over a couple of minutes. So we might come back and have a look where we are in a few minutes' time. So you can see that's reduced fairly well down to the consistency we want now. Just going to add a little bit of lemon juice, about a teaspoon. So that'll be about enough, I reckon. A little bit of seasoning, won't go astray. A little bit of salt. Not a lot, you don't want to kill it with salty taste. Or probably I'd use white pepper, but I haven't got it today, so a bit of black pepper. Keep the sauce nice and white by using white pepper. So now that's pretty right for the next step, which is adding the butter. So there we are. It's going to take a while to gradually blend in, and you can see, look at the creaminess now. And what you want is this lovely sauce. I can't wait to try it, actually. Good. Well, there we are. I reckon that looks pretty good. On to the next stage. Now, the second part of our beautiful recipe with King George whiting is the addition of some kale. Now, kale to some a superfood, to many just a leafy cabbage, and that's what it was commonly known as for many years. But I treat it a bit like a broccoli. I take the little florets off, rather than cook the whole stem, and that's quite coarse. Never throw that away. Always use that in your bullet or something as a health drink. It's fantastic, obviously. I blanched them for about 3 minutes in some boiling water, then cooled them down in ice water, and the end result is these magnificent green, scrumptious florets of kale. Absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to eating them. Okay, this is the next part. We put our pan on a hot oven there. We put in a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of garlic we've cut up, just a couple of cloves, and we've got some real butter. Look at that. We don't want to burn the garlic. It's the last thing we want to do. I think we've got to that point where the garlic is softened, the butter is infused with the olive oil, and I found some chilli. Look, it won't spoil it, it'll enhance it, guarantee. Just a few flakes to get it going. Stir that around, introduce the blanched kale. Look at that, look at the colour in that. Absolutely fantastic. Michael Angelakis, you're next, old son. Don't bugger up the whiting.
We need to season
Yep.
our
The
flour.
flour.
Yes. Lovely coarse sea salt.
Bit
And
of
we need to
pepper.
put pepper. While I'm doing the pepper, can you salt the fish, please? Now, this is flour.
Yes.
If you're gluten intolerant, you can use corn flour, potato flour or rice flour. That's sizzling away
so it's
nicely.
sizzling beautifully,
I reckon a couple of minutes either side.
Okay.
It's not on high heat, and we'll get that nice golden colour. And Mickey, let me have a look. That's cooked.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Just enough colour in that.
Okay, well,
That's cooked.
let's plate it up.
I reckon you should too.
Beautiful.
South Australian whiting with kale and a beurre blanc sauce.
Well, that's our program for today. Hope you enjoyed it. It's the first of our series of 3 along the Adelaide coastline.
And you've been a bit mysterious about where we're going next week. What do you got in mind?
Well, we're going to Australia's most famous nudist beach called Mason's Beach.
Don't you come the raw Tommy Rough with me.
No, we're getting back to nature. We're cooking raw prawns. No, we'll see you next time. But in the meanwhile, let's have a taste of that.
Oh, what a great dish. Have a look at the colours.
King George whiting, beurre blanc sauce,
Oh,
kale.
oh.
Oh, Michael, you've done it again.
You've done it again.
Seriously, you have.
Out of the Blue, proudly brought to you by San Remo.